Accused Devil's Den killer Andrew McGann could go to trial sometime next spring. McGann is accused of killing Clinton and Kristen Brink while they were hiking with their daughters at the state park back in July of last year. In another hearing today, 8 motions filed by his lawyers were discussed, one of which was a request to keep jurors and witnesses from engaging in improper contact with each other. Judge Joanna Taylor says some of those motions were premature without a trial date set. The defense did request a March or April of next year for a trial date. The Razorback softball team in Oklahoma City now for the Women's College World Series for the first time in program history. Team punched its ticket after a pair of dominant run rules against Duke University last weekend. Bogle Bombers left this morning, but before they left, fans showed up and showed out their support. Head coach Courtney Deifel says while it is exciting, the job is far from over.
We aren't happy just to be there. We want to go compete, and we feel like we have a team that can do that. And so the message today was the same as it's been all year. Really proud of them. I'm really proud of them, and the work's not done.
Once they get to Oklahoma City, senior Robin Herron says they'll have a large banquet meeting the rest of the teams and get to know each other before it's time to play. Arkansas opens play in Oklahoma City Thursday night at 8:30 against Nebraska. The first of 2 family nights at Old Fort Days Rodeo in Fort Smith is in the books. Hundreds of people came out tonight to take advantage of half-price tickets. 5 News is a proud sponsor of Family Night. Those in charge of the rodeo say it's important for the event to be family-friendly.
It is good entertainment, family entertainment. You know, we still salute the flag and we pray before we start, and so it's very good entertainment. So we try to make it more affordable.
Second family night is tomorrow night with tickets again at half price. The third night of the rodeo starts at 7:30 tomorrow night with the grand entry. You can find more about 5 News Family Night and the schedule of events at the Old Fort Days Rodeo on our website, 5newsonline.com. If you'd like a link to the events sent straight to your phone, just text the word rodeo to the number there on your screen, 785-5000. Leaders in Little Rock are now having to roll back the city's concealed carry ban after a recent ruling from a judge. Several years ago, the city made it illegal to carry a handgun into any city-owned building. A lawsuit filed 4 years ago alleged Little Rock's policy violated state law. Well, last week, a judge agreed, ruling in favor of the plaintiffs, which included Bowen's School of Law professor Robert Steinbuch.
Are they taking down those signs? They must. Are they letting into City Hall people with enhanced concealed carry licenses? They must.
Despite the ruling, the judge did not award damages to the plaintiffs. A spokesperson for the city of Little Rock says the city does plan to appeal. Arkansas Game and Fish investigating still a Memorial Day boat fire on Beaver Lake. We showed you this video last night after multiple firefighters responded to a boat fire there on the lake. No one was hurt, fortunately, with boat traffic expected to pick up through the summer months and around the 4th of July, of course. Firefighters now say is the time to make sure you have the proper safety equipment on board. You should have life jackets for every passenger, a fire extinguisher, and a horn or other device to signal for help just in case of an emergency.
Make sure you drink water on the lake. Being in the water doesn't keep you hydrated. You got to keep yourself well so you can perform well and keep others safe while you're out there. Make sure your boat's well maintained so it's operating correctly when you're on the lake.
Firefighters say having the right safety equipment on board could make all the difference in any emergency. City of Rogers celebrating the country's 250th birthday with a multi-location history-themed scavenger hunt. That hunt takes you to fun and interesting locations around Rogers in pursuit of exciting prizes, including being entered into a drawing for the grand prize of $250. The more legs of the hunt completed earns you more prizes. Luke Brewer with the Rogers Historic Museum tells us about some of the locations that'll be used for that scavenger hunt.
Some of the locations, they're all fun locations around Rogers that we wanted people to see that even people that lived here might not know about. Some of them are close by the museum, for instance, the caboose and goes around downtown area. Some of them go farther out with a little bit of driving that go all the way out to War Eagle Mill and stuff like that. So it's going to be a fun adventure.
Among some of the prizes you can earn are America 250 coffee mugs, magnet sets, and a tote bag. A new study published ranks Bentonville among the top 75 safest mid-sized cities in the country. That study was conducted by financial data firm Smart Asset and ranked the city 43rd out of more than 300 cities. City's very low violent crime rate and property crime rate was cited as being well below many peers. Arkansas overall, though, did not fare well in the study, with the capital ranking dead last among all mid-sized cities. Northwest Arkansas has been selected as a host city for the 2026 21C Arcadia Awards. The award offers a local visual arts artist $15,000 in unrestricted funding. Arcadia has partnered with 21C Museum Hotels because of its mission to acknowledge artist hubs that exist not just in big cities, but movements that are tied to community. Bora Kim of Arcadia says there is a big-time level of excitement surrounding this award.
This sort of national attention that we bring to these regional artists, and I think that's exciting, and I think that also tries to kind of like incite national conversations around artists who are outside of these traditional art hubs, which I feel very excited by.
That grant is free to apply for and is open to visual artists currently based out of Bentonville and Washington County, or Benton County and Washington County, that is. Applications opening up on June 15th. Gas prices in Arkansas dipped slightly in the past week, averaging $4.03 a gallon, so says Gas Buddy. Those prices are down about $0.015 a gallon from last week. Now, despite that very small dip in prices are still nearly 50 cents higher than a month ago, $1.30 a gallon higher than this time last year. The falling prices come as there is growing optimism around a potential U.S.-Iran agreement, though Gas Buddy's head of petroleum analysis warns the decline may not last very long. Well, 2 years after that EF2 tornado tore through Rogers, city leaders took time to reflect on the recovery. Tonight, city council members approved moving millions of dollars in FEMA recovery funds back into the city's operating budget, all while one agency is working to get back on its feet. 5 News reporter Taylor Howard shows us how far Rogers has come since the storm.
2 years ago, this was the scene across parts of Rogers. An EF2 tornado left behind millions of dollars in damages to homes, businesses, and city property. Tuesday night, city leaders approved moving nearly $16 million from a tornado recovery account back into the city's main operating budget, the latest financial milestone in Rogers' recovery from the 2024 tornado. After the storm, Rogers spent $25 million from its reserve funds to pay for debris removal, repairs, and other emergencies. Then the city had to wait to get reimbursed from FEMA.
I would have loved to replenish these reserves a long time ago, but we just got our full reimbursement, or this large reimbursement check from FEMA, just within the last several weeks.
One of the organizations forced to start over was Artists of Northwest Arkansas. For them, the storm meant losing their home on Walnut Street.
This had become really, really special for us, is that, we'd actually had a home. And suddenly now we didn't have a home.
Dark says the group spent months borrowing space and finding ways to keep the organization running.
We just plugged in. We started doing classes and things over at the Arkansas Arts Academy. They said, whatever y'all need to do, just come over here.
Months later, the search for a permanent home finally paid off.
One of the artists in the show, who actually is a retired architect, came to me one day and said, so what are we doing? Are you looking? And I said, yeah, I'm looking for a place. It's going to be, something's going to pop up at some point. He just said, my building's open if y'all want to come talk to me about it. I said, I'll be there tomorrow.
Today, Artists of Northwest Arkansas has settled into a new downtown Rogers home.
And being able to say that we did that after not really knowing we were going to be even open again.
And back at City Hall, leaders marked the 2-year anniversary with a display filled with signatures from the people who spent thousands of hours helping Rogers recover. In Rogers, covering news where you live, Taylor Howard, 5 News.